Welcome everyone to the Phoenix Police Department's 2023 Annual Awards Ceremony, brought to you by the Phoenix Police Foundation. At this time, we ask you to please stand for the posting of the colors by the Phoenix Police Honor Guard. Please remain standing for our national anthem, performed by Officer Mary Matheny.
Prepare to post the colors. Post the colors. Present. Halt.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Pipe major, by your command, sir.
Please be seated. And now, welcome to the stage, your MCs for tonight's ceremony, Assistant Chief Anthony Vasquez and local media personality Heather Moore.
What a cool video, right? Welcome, everyone. I am so excited and honored to be with you tonight on this special night. Everybody, you look so sharp. Something about those dress blues, wow. For years, as a member of the media, I would share with our community the highs and lows of what the men and women in this department do, the acts of heroism and the heartbreak. So tonight, it's really, really special for me to be here, to be on this end of it, because the stories that you will hear tonight, I've told many of them on the air. But it's wonderful to be a part of watching these heroes be recognized for their actions, to be celebrated. I know a lot of them are very unwitting, reluctant heroes, but nonetheless, it is my privilege to be with you. And so many of you have come together with your families to be here tonight to honor this year's award recipients. So we want to say congratulations to you and to your families. This is your night.
So thank you for joining us tonight, Heather.
My pleasure.
So folks, before we begin, let's recognize some of our guests. Ladies and gentlemen, we're pleased tonight to be joined by City of Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego, City Manager Jeff Barton, Assistant City Manager Lori Bays, and I know I saw earlier Councilman Kevin Robinson. Thank you all for being here tonight.
And we would also, of course, like to recognize the Phoenix Police Foundation and those sponsors whose generous contributions made this all possible for every one of us tonight.
So to the members of the community in attendance and to you, our family and friends who support us night after night as we work to come home safely after every shift, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we love you. Now, just for a few considerations, award recipients, our ushers will assist you when it's your turn to move backstage. Please move quickly and quietly, just like you do when you're slipping out of the end of shift before your time ends.
You're onto them. They don't get away with anything. All right, and to help you remember this night, a photo backdrop is going to be available. It's going to be after the ceremony out in the lobby for photos with recipients and their families. They will have police cadets out there to help you out. You just hand them your camera, your cell phone, and they'll hook you up with whatever photos you need.
So we're excited for all the children here tonight, but if you feel a break is necessary, please don't hesitate to return to the lobby and join us when you're ready. Please just make sure you bring your parents back with you.
We hear you, sweetie, back there. That's right. And if you will, please silence your phones, dim them as well, and also refrain from flash photography. We'll get it right in the eyes.
We will.
Tonight's ceremony is also going to be posted to the department's YouTube channel, so you don't have to worry about recording all of these special moments yourself. And a reminder, if you're coming down here, you've got to be careful. We've got a lot of video equipment out there and cables, so please watch your step and use caution.
Okay, looks like we're ready to go. We're pleased to welcome our first speaker of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight for this very special occasion. It's an honor to be with you as we gather to recognize and celebrate the extraordinary service of our dedicated police officers and community volunteers. In our community, we are fortunate to have a dedicated force of men and women who work tirelessly to ensure our safety, often going above and beyond the call of duty. Tonight, we come together to shine a spotlight on those who have exemplified the very best of law enforcement. These officers have shown an unwavering commitment to the values that define our city: courage, compassion, and a deep sense of duty. They have protected our neighborhoods, responded to emergencies with professionalism and bravery, and worked tirelessly to build trust within our community. They have saved so many lives. We also know they have made sacrifices, including missing family gatherings, holidays, and important milestones. So we want to thank those of you who support them. Without friends and family, they could not do the important work they do for the City of Phoenix. So for all of our City of Phoenix family, can we get a round of applause for the family behind us? Tonight will be full of a few wonderful surprises and one that I think will be deeply meaningful to the City of Phoenix family. We are excited to be joined tonight by Tyler Moldovan. I am also very excited, for the first time, at least in my time at the City of Phoenix, we are joined by a city councilman who has also been recognized at this ceremony. Kevin Robinson served our city as a police officer for decades before joining the City Council, and he is a winner of both the Medal of Merit and the Medal of Valor. I want to thank everyone who's come together to make tonight possible, our great team at the City of Phoenix, the team at this facility, as well as the Phoenix Police Foundation. Tim, thank you for all your team does. I want to thank Heather Moore for assisting us. Very long days, and she has stepped up to support our men and women in blue. And also, on a personal note, she was very kind to me in 2020 when I was filming little TV thing at home, and my then 3-year-old made a very surprise appearance and demanded chocolate chip cookies in the middle of the interview, and thankfully she did not air that on live TV. So mostly a thank you for the police department, but a little personal thank you as well. I'm excited as well to be joined by Chief Sullivan and our city manager, Jeff Barton. They have been working tirelessly on behalf of the department, including working for an increase in compensation and developing a package that will go to our voters this November that will involve tens of millions of dollars of increases and better facilities for some of our police precincts. So a great team working hard at the City of Phoenix. But tonight is really about the men and women we will recognize and the amazing acts that have kept our community safer and have brought us here to recognize them. So let's get on with that important recognition.
Thank you, Mayor Gallego. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as mentioned, please welcome Phoenix City Manager, Jeff Barton.
Good evening, everyone. How are you doing this evening? So thank you, Mayor, and the other City Council members that are present this evening. I want to thank you for your being here and your presence. We appreciate you joining us to commend the contributions made by members of the Phoenix Police Department. And thank you to the Phoenix Police Foundation for hosting this important event this evening. It's an honor to participate in this celebration of the exemplary work carried out by our police department's sworn staff, professional colleagues, and volunteers, and to recognize the selflessness and compassion shown by the families of those serving this department. I am truly proud of tonight's awardees and grateful for the work of the entire department. I know your hard work, your determination, and your commitment to serving our community are unwavering. This unwavering commitment is perhaps most personified by Officer Tyler Moldovan, who I'm happy to share, as the mayor said, is here with us this evening. So could you please join me in standing and giving Officer Tyler Moldovan a standing ovation, please? Thank you. Tyler, on behalf of the City of Phoenix, thank you for your service, and we are proud of you and so grateful to you and your family for your perseverance through the drama that you went through. We face many challenges as a community, as you know, and it's you, the Phoenix Police Department, and your members that face and lead that response. You serve and protect our community like no other, and even though the profession has come under more and more scrutiny and has become more and more demanding, you still respond to the call. You still run towards the threat, and you will also inspire the next generation to do the same. Far too often, being a police officer requires sacrifice, and carrying the weight of the job can significantly impact one's mental health. In light of this, I would also like to take a moment to acknowledge the members who are not here this evening and can't be with us tonight. So we are determined to support you as you support our city. During last year's awards, I committed to visiting every single police precinct and meeting with members of the department Over the last year, Assistant City Manager Lori Bays and I have done just that. During each of these visits, Assistant Manager Lori Bays and I heard directly from you on how to best support you, how to best support and enhance the services, how to create and cultivate a supportive environment, and to build greater trust within our community. We met with third shift officers at Mountain View Precinct. We toured the Cactus Park Precinct, and let me just say I got to see the less than stellar accommodations that for those of you that actually are staffed there. We also even got to participate in an ice cream social at the crime lab, and I'm happy to say that no one's smocks or scrubs were ruined, and we didn't destroy any evidence in the process. So with your feedback, we've actually already started to implement some of the ways to streamline the booking process and improve our facilities. And from the insights that you shared, we will continue to enhance recruitment and retention efforts in the department. We also are determined to improve internal procedures and work to ensure that you have the resources that you need to be effective and, most importantly, safe. We look forward to continuing to work with you to build the Phoenix of tomorrow, where everyone feels safe and everyone is treated with dignity and the respect that they deserve. We are grateful for you, your efforts, and over the next year, we intend to demonstrate our gratitude to all of those that answer the call to serve. On behalf of the City of Phoenix, I want to thank you and thank your families for your service. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Barton. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is a familiar one, probably one that everybody in this room should know. Please give a warm welcome to Interim Police Chief Michael Sullivan.
So thank you, Mayor Gallego and City Manager Barton, for being here with us tonight, and all our city council members, and for supporting the members of the Phoenix Police Department through your work every single day. And Tyler, I understand you're in uniform tonight. That's exciting, and it'll be the first time that I've seen you in a Phoenix Police uniform. This is a great night. The three best moments for a chief are academy graduations, promotions, and award ceremonies, just like this one. Tonight is about recognizing the outstanding work by the members of this incredible department. We're also going to recognize a member of the fire department and a community member. Tonight, you are going to hear stories of bravery, compassion, and dedication as we honor those who have made a difference in our community. I want to make one thing very clear. Policing is not just a profession. It's a way of life. Long hours, inherent risks, and it takes an emotional toll, and it can be very challenging. But the support and understanding of our loved ones makes it all possible. To the families of our officers, we say thank you for your unwavering support. Before we begin, let's take a moment to reflect on the profound importance of our duty as law enforcement officers and professional staff. We are entrusted with a solemn responsibility, the responsibility to prevent and control crime, provide public safety to our community, and to ensure that justice is served without prejudice or bias. This responsibility carries a heavy burden, and it's one that each member of the Phoenix Police Department willingly shoulders every day. This evening, we will shine a spotlight on those individuals who have gone above and beyond the call of duty. These officers have displayed courage in the face of danger, compassion in times of crisis, and an unwavering commitment to our city. We celebrate not only the individual accomplishments, but the collective strength of our public safety community. We are a team, and it's through our collective efforts that we will make our community safer, stronger, and more resilient. Thank you to the Phoenix Police Foundation and the sponsors for making this event possible tonight. And on behalf of the Phoenix Police Department, the City of Phoenix, welcome to our Pride in Our Heroes Award ceremony.
Thank you, Chief Sullivan. So let's begin. Our first award category is the Volunteer Excellence Award. Tonight, we recognize two very special volunteers who donated so much of their own personal time to assist the police department with our mission. A critical part of our team are the COPS volunteers, who donate their time and talents to all aspects of the department. COPS stands for Citizens Offering Police Support. So much of what we do as a police department is carried out by volunteers. These outstanding citizens give of themselves to ensure that we continue to serve and protect while giving back to our community. They serve on advisory boards, in neighborhood patrols, in precincts and bureaus, and assist with special events and programs. They are community leaders and mentors and deserve our appreciation.
Please welcome volunteers Rachel Hammonds and Joanna Lopez. Rachel began her internship at police headquarters in the summer of 2022 and completed over 700 hours. She completed multiple ride-alongs, community events, and was involved in creating a new physical fitness test for police recruit applicants. She has volunteered in the Fiscal Management Bureau, the Crime Lab, and she even rode in the Cool Treats van at community events. Rachel now works in the Crime Lab's Controlled Substances section as a forensic scientist. Rachel, we thank you for your service.
Joanna Lopez grew up in North Phoenix as a member of the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Valley. She is now the branch director of the Jerry Colangelo Boys and Girls Club site. She became involved with the department after completing her degree in forensic science at Grand Canyon University. She actively volunteers with the Violent Crimes Bureau Homicide Unit, assisting detectives with reviewing social media records, cell phone data, jail calls, and video surveillance. Joanna has logged more than 4,000 hours since September 2017. Thank you for your service, Joanna. Thank you to each of you for the time you've donated to the department. Individuals like yourselves and are an important part to our police family. Thank you.
Our next award category is the Medal of Life Saving. Please welcome to the stage this year's honorees.
Officer Mark Ryan, Officer Jeffrey Fisher, Officer Jacob Sweat, Officer Daniel Braidmeyer, Officer David Mouton, Officer Bryce Lugville, Officer Christopher O'Donnell, Officer Jacob Stein, Officer Justin Hopkins, Officer Joshua Ainkert, Officer Richard Cias, Officer Eric Dilliard, Officer Jacqueline Casey, Phoenix Fire Captain Eric Harper, Officer Taylor Locke, Officer Brendan Medina, Officer Victor Salas, Officer Jordan Shaba, Officer Christopher C.J. Wren, Officer Joseph Villarreal, Officer Oliver Lopez, Officer Kelly Crawford, Officer Michael Coddington, Officer Michael Mielhaus, Police Assistant Richard Hansen, Police Assistant Roman Vase, Officer Jordan Russell, Officer John Jones, Mr. Levi Leader, Mr. Ramson Isaac, Mr. Brady Safsick, Officer Mirinda Belevin, Officer Weston Stewart, Officer Michael Page, Officer Brandon Stevens, Officer James Perry, Officer Jay Crook, Officer Rodolfo Peru, Officer Joshua James, Officer Nicholas Barker, Officer Jason Price, Officer Uriel Ramirez, Officer Bryn Scott, Officer Benjamin Harris, Officer Austin Knott, Officer Kevin Treffs, Officer Ryan Shell, Officer Jordan Rezak, Officer Colton Puchalski, Officer Ryan Muzzy, Officer Garrett Brown, Officer Mark McKnight, Officer Alberto Ariza, Officer Gosmond Baliki, Officer Kyle Coffey, Officer Aldo Nunez, Officer Alexander Kubes, Officer Gabriel Caius, Officer Alex Beaver, Officer Christopher Gitch, Officer Peyton Person. Retired Officer Cliff McCrum. Officer Declan McCarthy. Officer Jarrett Sleeper. Officer Nick Calandra. Officer William Gates. Sergeant Tristan Blaylock. Officer Devin Coombs. Officer Aaron Rubio. Officer Guadalupe Rodriguez. Officer Nicholas Espinoza. Officer Zachary Coley. Officer Douglas Keys. Officer Lauren Burke. Officer Jacqueline Ravello. Officer Jason Valenzuela. Officer Jorge Perez. Officer Tyler Russell. Sergeant Jimmy Wing. Officer Joseph Overly. Officer Joshua Adams. Officer Kyle Robbins. Officer Madison Menshing. Officer Marcus Fisher. Officer Timothy Clark. Officer Antonio Furno. Officer Cody Pont. Sergeant Christopher Marrero. Officer Stephanie Weekly. Officer Ryan Moody. Officer Jeremy Martin. Officer Valerie Rose. Retired Officer David Williams. Officer Frank Valenzuela. Officer Gary Grosskopf. Officer Ryan Andrekas. Officer Justin Giddings. Officer Gregory Wilson. Officer Luis Alvarado. Officer David Joe Gonzalez. Officer Andrea Perez Santillan. Officer Todd Stevens. Officer Frank Castronovo. Fallen Officer Mark Aker. Officer Donald Banowitz. Officer Eric Wilkes. Officer Luis Romo. Officer Stephen Piccoli. Officer Brandon Lawhorn.
The Medal of Life Saving is awarded to an employee or citizen for an act that results in saving or preserving a human life or lives that otherwise would have immediately expired. Each and every day in the life of a Phoenix police officer includes experiences and opportunities that impact citizens and the very community as a whole. Every recipient on stage tonight was involved in saving or prolonging a life. In many cases, their actions involved endangering their own lives in the process. In many of these instances, officers intervened to risk their own personal safety in order to save people in life-threatening situations, or in some cases, from themselves. It would take all evening to share each of these stories. Each one is incredible in its own right. In each case, the actions of these officers made a critical difference to the life of a human being in mortal danger. Their actions are in keeping with the highest standards and traditions of the Phoenix Police Department. Please join me in recognizing all the recipients of the Medal of Life Saving.
Chief Vasquez, I know you've been doing this for 33 years, but it's my first time up here and my first time looking at a group like this, so many awardees. It takes my breath away that all of these men and women are being awarded for saving members of our community. It's pretty incredible.
It's pretty phenomenal work, and the men and women on the police department do this on a daily basis. Couldn't thank them enough for the job they do every night.
Gives me chills. Ladies and gentlemen, the recipients of the Medal of Life Saving. We've got another whole group coming. One more time, yes, please put your hands together. Recipients of the Medal of Life Saving.
Well, we want to say hello to everybody out there in the Phoenix Police Department. April and I are a part of the public safety family. My husband, a retired police officer. You are a big part of the fire family. And we just want you to know that we are so grateful for what you do day in, day out. It does not go unnoticed. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, exactly what she said. We appreciate every single day what you do to protect and to serve our community and put your lives on the line. And just know that we're so grateful for what you do.
Hello, friends. Phoenix PD, tonight is your night. I've got a special guest here. Hold on. Here she is, Jamie Serrata.
Hi, everybody. Hello. I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you. You know, when I was a street reporter at 4:30 in the morning, knocking on the window of your police car, asking what's happening here. You're always kind and patient with me and kept us safe, and we appreciate that so much.
And you need a lot of patience hanging out with Jamie. Just kidding.
It's true.
Just kidding. Great to see everybody. Tonight's your night. Have a wonderful evening.
So fun to see my former colleagues up there. So many people, as they are wanting to express their gratitude for the heroic work that you all do every day. And tonight we are joined by a very special guest. He is the father of a Phoenix police officer, but of course you will know him as a Major League Baseball legend. He is a 5-time winner of the Cy Young Award and a Major League Baseball Hall of Famer. Please welcome World Series MVP and fellow Trojan, Randy Johnson.
I'm so glad they gave us our own mics, because it would be very awkward for me to my dress going up.
You must be so proud. Your son, Officer Tanner Johnson, was up on this stage for the Medal of Life Saving a year ago, and you were here. Talk about what that was like for you.
It was, you know, there's been a lot of proud moments as a father, but none other than being out where you guys are tonight, watching last year my son receive a life-saving award. And the thing that after having a son on the police department now for over 5 years, getting to know more of the police officers. My father was a police officer as well, but it was a different time of where we're at now. It's a different climate for police officers now.
Certainly. Talk about what it is like being the parent, as many of these folks know, the parent of a Phoenix police officer now.
Well, obviously, you know, every day that he goes on patrol, you're worried. Obviously, lots can happen out there, and lots does happen. But you just support them, and I know that my son loves his job. He loves helping people, and I just try to look beyond the danger of it, but I know it's there, and just support them in any way I can.
A lot of folks want to be a police officer. They want to be public servants starting at a very young age. That was not the case with your son. You said you were surprised when you found out he wanted to join the police department.
Well, he played sports like every high school kid, and went to U of A and graduated from there, and then it was just a matter of, what was he going to do? And then next thing you know, he wanted to be a police officer, so he enrolled in the academy, and he graduated #1 from the Phoenix Police Academy, and
impressive.
And that allowed him to kind of choose what precinct he would like to work out of, and there was no guarantee of that, but he is involved in the community and actively, helping people, and I see it firsthand because I've been on some ride-alongs with them, but that doesn't mean that his mom and myself aren't worried, and his sisters, so we are, but we also know that he's doing what he loves, and so you have to support people that are doing what they love to do, and there's something to be said for people that, whether it's military or police officers that run towards danger and not away from it, or they're there to serve the community, and for all the police officers and all those people that serve our community, not just here in Arizona, but through our whole country, I applaud them.
They're heroes, they're brave, they're courageous. You mentioned doing ride-alongs with Tanner. Did you learn anything about the police department, a little more insight?
Yeah, it's just, I did a couple of ride-alongs, and, he was just showing me areas, I've obviously played here for 8 years, and I've lived here even prior to that, so I was seeing parts of Phoenix that I've never seen before, and understanding how police business is, and it's fascinating, it's interesting, and you understand that while you're in the car with them, you see things that maybe you would take for granted if you were just driving by in your own car, and so your awareness is a little bit more heightened when you're with a police officer, because they're pointing things out, whereas you may not recognize those things if you were just driving by on your own.
Absolutely. I did a Citizens Police Academy, and it was eye-opening, very much how you described, and you just never know what call is going to come on over the scanner while you're in the car with them. So right. You have a heart of gratitude for the police department and for what your son does. Is there anything you want to say to members of this police family, this community? Well,
I think what all the police officers do here is unbelievable, and I think that the climate for being a police officer has changed drastically just in the last 5 years, but there's something to be said for the people that want to be a police officer. I applaud them and I praise them, and it's not a glamorous job. They don't get paid a lot of money, but they're willing to put their lives on the lives, willing to put their lives on their line for us, and we see that all the time, watching the news and hearing about those things. So I just want to applaud all the police officers that are here today, being honored, and all the ones that will be here in the future as well.
Very honorable profession. And just last question, selfishly, we've all enjoyed your career and your talent. Will you update folks on what you've been up to? I know you went to USC for photojournalism back before your amazing baseball career blossomed. Now you're back to your roots.
When I graduated from college, I graduated, well, I didn't actually graduate. I left my junior year. I went on and played 4 years in the minor leagues for Montreal, and then that was the start of my professional career. And then after I retired, in 2009. Then I got asked if I wanted to participate in some USO events, and I said, sure, I would love to do that. So for about 9 years, from the year I retired to up until about COVID, I was actively at least going on one, sometimes maybe 2 USO tours, and it could be anywhere from Iraq to Kuwait to Bahrain to the DMZ to Okinawa, and I really enjoyed that, and I thought it was the most rewarding thing I've done in my life, shaking hands to the men and women that put their lives out on the line for us, and hear their stories and tell them how important they are. And it's more of a morale kind of boost for them, because being there in these areas where some of areas that I even got to go into are not really pleasant, and they're there for a while. So you go there and you thank them, and you hear the stories, and hopefully you can bring a smile to someone's face. And but it's just like the police officers. These people are willing to put their lives on the line, and I think that's you can't measure that. It's just an unmeasurable attribute that a person will have that is willing to do that for us.
Absolutely. Randy Johnson, well said. Thank you so much for joining us and for your words of encouragement for the officers tonight. Thank you.
Heather. Thank you.
Presenting our next award category, the Medal of Merit. Please welcome to the stage Assistant Chief Brian Chapman.
Good evening. The Medal of Merit is presented to an employee for an act of courage and dedication to duty during the performance of a police service that involves significant risk or danger to one's personal safety. As these awards are presented, you will hear stories of heroes who took quick action to present or protect life and property. Without question, our community is lucky that these honorees were in the right place at the right time and knew exactly what to do. We are truly grateful and proud to honor each of them tonight with the Medal of Merit. At this time, please welcome our first honorees to the stage, Officers Jessica Hunting and Rachel Fernandez.
On the morning of January 26, 2022, just after 9 a.m., Officers Jessica Hunting and Rachel Fernandez responded to a traffic collision just west of 31st Avenue and Thunderbird Road. As they arrived, they saw a vehicle on its roof with smoke billowing from the car and beginning to fill the passenger compartment. With the fire extinguisher in hand, the officers rushed to clear the inside of the vehicle. Rachel reached through the broken glass to move the deployed airbags aside and found the unconscious driver suspended by the driver's seatbelt. They revived him, unbuckled his seatbelt, and tried freeing him from the vehicle, but his feet were pinned by the steering wheel. After crawling into the vehicle, surrounded by glass, twisted metal, and increasing smoke, the officers were able to free the man and drag him safely, narrowly avoiding the increasing smoke and growing flames. Phoenix police arrived and later praised the officers' efforts, noting that time is a critical factor in the probability of survival for trapped occupants inside a burning vehicle. Their actions are in keeping with the highest standards and traditions of the Phoenix Police Department for courageous actions performed while knowing the risk to their own safety, in addition to life-saving measures taken to prolong the survival of a trapped citizen. Both officers Jessica Hunting and Rachel Fernandez are hereby awarded the Medals of Merit and Life-Saving.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to introduce our next honored guest. She chairs the Public Safety and Justice Subcommittee and represents District 1 as a Phoenix City Council member. She couldn't join us in person tonight, but she would like to share a few words with all of you. Here's Councilmember Ann O'Brien.
Hello and congratulations to the 189 men and women who are receiving awards this evening. I am Councilwoman Ann O'Brien, representing Phoenix's District 1 and your chairwoman for the Public Safety and Justice Subcommittee. I apologize that I could not attend the event in person, as I am currently in Ireland on business representing the City of Phoenix. However, I could not pass up the opportunity to offer my sincerest appreciation for all that you do to protect our families. This occasion is a testament to the 189 individuals' exceptional dedication and unwavering commitment to serve the people of Phoenix, ensuring the safety and well-being of our community. Each of these awardees demonstrated a great level of professionalism, courage, and selflessness. Tonight, we recognize their devotion and continued sacrifice to keep our city prosperous. Amongst these awards are the Volunteer Excellence Awards, Medal of Life Saving, Medal of Valor, Police Shield, Supervisor of the Year, the Medal of Merit, and Police Chief's Unit of the Year. Volunteer Excellence Awards recognize volunteers who have donated hundreds of hours to the department. The Medal of Merit Award recognizes 6 honorees who demonstrated acts of courage and dedication to duty while performing a police service that involves significant risk or danger to one's safety. The Medal of Valor recognizes 32 honorees for conspicuous acts of valor who risked their lives during a performance of a police service. The Police Chief's Unit of the Year Award recognizes 35 employees from the Vehicular Crimes Unit who respond to an average of 240 to 270 serious or fatal collision calls a year. And finally, the Police Shield Award honors the 10 employees who, while in the line of duty, sustained significant injury. Thank you to Brandy Carter, Denise Bruce Jones, Chase McCants, Hayden Heigl, Adam O'Connor, Tricia Eskridge, John Noe, Travis Spittler, Austin Peru, and Tyler Moldovan for your heroism, your bravery, and your sacrifice to our families and our communities. We are all safer because of each and every one of you. These awards are not just symbols of recognition, but are reflections of the countless lives positively impacted by the bravery and sacrifice of our police department. We acknowledge the challenges you face, the risks you encounter, and the burdens you carry. Thank you for your service. Congratulations once again on this well-deserved recognition.
Here to present our next award category, the Medal of Valor, please welcome Assistant Chief Sean Kennedy.
Good evening. The Medal of Valor is awarded to an employee for a conspicuous act of valor during the performance of a police service that involves risk of life and knowledge of that risk. The act clearly delineates valor from other forms of courage and is above and beyond the call of duty. Each of the honorees this evening are deserving of this award. Every officer in law enforcement will encounter an array of situations in their career, each one more unique than the last. These encounters provide opportunities for the hero inside to step up and save a life or restore order to chaos. So often this happens without the officer even realizing the implications of their actions in the moment. We are here tonight to tell their stories and reflect on those qualities that deserve recognition. Please welcome our next group of honorees to the stage.
Please welcome to the stage Sergeant Eric Moser and Joshua Beeks, Officers Gabriel Case, Jesus Armenta, Miguel Rendon, Christopher Sidwa, Anthony Davis Jr., Mitchell Glassman, Nicholas Barker, Joshua James, Ryan Robertson, Andrew Rusnak, Angelique Cedillo, and Alexander Cubes. On the evening of April 30th, 2022, 3 armed suspects committed a home invasion, holding an elderly victim down with a pillow while they ransacked her home near 62nd Avenue and Camelback Road. 2 male victims awoke and a gun battle ensued. At least 2 of the suspects were struck along with both male victims. The suspects fled out the back, leaving their victims behind. Officers Angelica Cedillo and Christopher Sidwa arrived and contacted the occupants, an elderly woman, a baby, an adult woman, and a teen girl. All of them were very concerned with the injured male victims.
They were joined by Officers Jesus Armenta, Gabriel Case, and Sergeant Joshua Beeks, who helped with sweeping and securing the home. Armenta physically lifted and carried out the first victim over his shoulder out of the house to waiting fire personnel. Sidwa and Cedillo carried the second victim out and used their patrol car to get him to fire. Officers began searching a nearby alley, and they found one of the suspects down and hurt. Sergeant Eric Mosier put a team of officers together to make contact. Using a police Tahoe as cover, they gave verbal commands to the suspect to comply. Officer Andrew Rusnak deployed rounds from his stun bag shotgun to further urge compliance. The team approached the unresponsive suspect and did not feel a pulse. Officers Gabriel Case and Miguel Rendon pulled the suspect out to take him into custody. The team, which included officers Ryan Robertson, Joshua James, and Andrew Rusnak, followed a blood trail down the alley until they discovered that second suspect unresponsive and hiding. Officers Mitchell Glassman and Anthony Davis Jr. began life-saving measures on the injured suspect until he was lifted onto the hood of that patrol car to get him to waiting medical personnel. Neither suspect survived their wounds. The third suspect was picked up by a car in the neighborhood and fled. The actions of these officers clearly demonstrate valor as they risk their own safety to protect life. They are in keeping with the highest standards and traditions of the Phoenix Police Department, and therefore they are each hereby awarded the Medal of Valor.
The civilian equivalent of this category is the award for valorous conduct. Tonight, this award goes to Michael Ader. On June 17, 2022, just before 9 p.m., Phoenix police received a call of a collision with injuries and a possible victim trapped in a burning car near 38th Drive and Thunderbird Road. The burning car was up against a house and the fire was starting to spread. Additional gruesome details continue to pour in, involving a motorcycle rider hit multiple times. Mr. Michael Ader was at home when he heard the initial collision. He went outside in time to see a second collision involving the motorcycle. Michael's first concern was for the safety of anyone in the vehicles. He put their welfare above his own as he selflessly sprinted across 7 lanes of traffic toward the carnage of a burning wreckage, in sandals nonetheless. He threw open the car door to rescue a trapped woman. With her clothes still on fire, Michael reached in, undid her seatbelt, and pulled her from the burning car. The fire spread to Michael's clothes as he rescued her. Michael suffered severe burns as he used his own shirt to put out the fire on his own foot, as well as the woman's burning clothes. Although she suffered third-degree burns to her back, Michael's selfless acts undoubtedly saved the woman's life. Executive Assistant Chief Sean Connolly would later praise Michael's heroic efforts by saying, "Mr. Ader's actions exemplify why our community is so great. What an amazing demonstration of heroism and valor. For valorous conduct performed while knowing and accepting the risk to himself in order to preserve life, Mr. Michael Ader is hereby awarded the Certificate of Valorous Conduct."
Hey everybody, Troy Hayden, Celeste Rodriguez, Fox 10 AZAM. What a great night.
Absolutely.
I know on any given day, all of you, the men and women of Phoenix PD, could get an award for what you do every day you come to work.
Yeah.
But I know some of you are being awarded for very special things you've done, and it's awesome.
Yeah, you are heroes on our city streets. We so appreciate you, and of course, all the sacrifice that you give each and every day, and the sacrifices of your family as well. So thank you.
Congratulations, all the award recipients tonight. And this is the biggest boom microphone I've ever seen. Congratulations to everybody.
Thank you.
Hey to all you officers out there, this is Scott Passmore with Good Morning Arizona. I am a big fan of what you men and women do on the streets daily. We appreciate you keeping us safe and keeping the streets safe out there with all those crazy people. So thank you again. Congratulations on all your achievements. And hopefully this is kind of like one of those get out of free video cards. Next time I get pulled over, Scott, this is what my face looks like. So that'd be really nice. Congratulations.
That is so him. That's so great. The Phoenix Police Department has a lot of fans, especially in the media. All right, now we want to welcome the president of the Phoenix Police Foundation, Mr. Tim Thomas.
Good evening, everyone. First, let me congratulate all of the award recipients here tonight. You do an amazing job protecting and serving our community, and on behalf of the Phoenix Police Foundation and our board members, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for what you do. I'd also like to thank Quick Trip and Motorola for their support and making tonight possible. Let's give them all a round of applause. So the mission of the Phoenix Police Foundation is to fund, honor, and assist the men and women of the department. And I'd like to take just a brief moment to share some of the recent activities that we've done to help support our mission. And tonight is a perfect example of how the foundation honors our officers by providing funding to support this recognition event and others like it. Back in March, we held our 3rd annual honor run to remember our fallen. And this Friday, we will host our 6th annual Women in Blue celebration at the Biltmore. On the assistance side, this is the one thing we wish we didn't have to do, but in the last 3 years, the foundation has provided over $1 million of financial assistance to Phoenix police officers and their families in need, and we're very proud of that, and we're proud of what you do. And lastly, we've been able to fund a number of projects and programs across the spectrum, including youth programming like the cadets, preservation of life equipment. We recently purchased some tier tactical shield kits for the downtown operations unit that are going to help our officers stay safe and even community members as well. And you also heard about the COPS program earlier. That's another program that we support. So again, I want to thank you for what you do. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Talk to you soon.
Hey everybody, welcome to Today in AZ. I'm Scott McDonald.
I'm Emily Pritchard. Great to be with you. We're both somewhat new to the Valley, and we really appreciate you for welcoming us with open arms.
Yeah, so a big congratulations to everybody who's receiving awards today. Take a moment to enjoy this time with your friends, family, and your colleagues.
Yeah, it's time to have a little bit of fun. Your perseverance day in and day out has really led to today's accomplishment. And we can't wait to see you again, bright, maybe dark and early.
Have a great day.
Hey folks, Corey McCloskey here from Fox 10. I can't tell you what an honor it is for me to be able to thank all of you on behalf of all of us here at Fox 10. And I was nominated to do so because I'm the handsomest guy here. Seriously. No, I am serious. Anyway, we appreciate your courage, and whether you're out on the street or in a precinct or back at the station house here across the street, we love that you're out there keeping all of our families safe. I could never do it. I don't have the courage, and not many people do. So thanks for all that you do, and if you wonder whether you've got support anywhere, you've got it from us, that's for sure. What? Officer who? No, don't let him in. Hey, those charges were dropped.
Ladies and gentlemen, here to present the next award category, the Police Shield, please welcome Assistant Chief Charmaine Osborne.
Thank you, Chief Vasquez.
Our next award is the Police Shield. This medal is awarded to an employee who, during the performance of the police service, sustains a significant injury or whose treatment requires prolonged medical attention. These selfless heroes endured traumatic injury and, in most cases, weeks or months of ongoing treatment, physical therapy, and the mental, emotional impact of this experience. All of this shared with their families and loved ones. Their service goes far beyond the end of their shift, and they carry with them the sacrifices they made for their community. It is our duty and our honor to recognize them, and we are so happy that they are with us tonight. Please welcome to the stage our first recipient, Officer Adam O'Connor.
On December 27, 2021, just after midnight, Officer Adam O'Connor was involved in an on-duty collision while riding his police motorcycle on West Bethany Home Road near North 26th Avenue. A minivan made an unexpected left turn directly into his path. Adam tried to avoid the collision, but there was no time. He was violently thrown from his motorcycle, suffering devastating injury. Adam was rushed to the hospital where he underwent immediate and extensive surgery for broken bones and extreme internal injuries. Adam continues to recover from his injuries, and we are grateful he is still with us. It is his goal to eventually return to full duty. For a serious injury sustained in the course of duty, Officer Adam O'Connor is hereby awarded the Police Shield.
Please welcome Officers Hayden Heigl and Alexander Kofsky. On March 13, 2022, at around 1:15 in the morning, Officers Hayden Heigl and Alexander Kofsky were ambushed by gunfire near 25th Avenue in Maryland while following a suspicious vehicle. During the attack, Officer Heigl sustained serious injury when he was shot. It began at a Quick Trip near 20th Avenue in Glendale when they conducted a records check on a vehicle. The registered owner had a felony warrant out for his arrest. Before they could begin a traffic stop, the driver took off at a high rate of speed, running several traffic lights. The officers found the car later and asked for the police helicopter and a K-9 to assist. They continued to follow the driver, who was attempting to evade them. Suddenly, the officers came under attack by gunfire from the apartments near 25th Avenue in Maryland. Their police Tahoe was struck numerous times. One of the shots came through Hayden's window, striking him in the wrist. They were able to drive away to safety, where they worked together to apply a tourniquet to Hayden's wrist to stop the bleeding. Responding officers were able to drive Hayden to the hospital for emergency treatment. The suspect driver was taken into custody after a brief foot chase. A large, resource-intensive tactical perimeter was set up around the apartments from where the shots were fired. A suspect was identified and taken into custody. It was learned that the driver had called the shooter during the chase and intentionally led the officers into the ambush. Hayden endured surgery and months of recovery. He has since been released to full duty. For injuries sustained in the course of duty, Hayden Heigl is hereby awarded the Police Shield, and for his actions which directly assisted in preserving the life of his fellow officer, Alexander Kofsky is hereby awarded the Medal of Life-Saving.
And now, please welcome Officer Chase McCants. On New Year's Day 2021, just before 6 o'clock in the morning, Officer Chase McCants was on patrol driving near 27th Street and Cactus Road when his Tahoe was struck by a wrong-way driver who was traveling eastbound in the westbound lanes. Chase suffered serious physical injury. He was hospitalized in the ICU for 19 days. 2 weeks of grueling rehabilitation followed, requiring multiple surgeries. By February 21st, 2022, he was back in patrol with his squad after battling through extensive physical recovery. His determination allowed him to return to full duty 13 months after the collision. For injuries sustained in the course of duty, Officer Chase McCants is hereby awarded the Police Shield.
Please welcome our next group of honorees to the stage. On December 14, 2021, at around 2:30 in the morning, Officer Tyler Maldivon was critically injured when he was shot 8 times at close range by a suspect who was fleeing from officers during a street racing incident near 23rd Avenue in Campbell. The suspect ran from the scene to a nearby apartment complex. Tyler and his partner, Officer Zachary Johnson, were searching the area on foot and became separated. During the search, Tyler heard a noise on an apartment porch. He found the hiding suspect and began giving him commands to comply. The suspect pulled out a gun and fired 15 rounds, striking Tyler 8 times in the face, neck, hands, shoulder, and leg. Tyler went down. The suspect was aggressively pulling at Tyler's own gun when Zachary arrived. He was unable to fire any shots at the suspect for fear of hitting Tyler, so Zachary holstered his duty weapon and tackled the suspect, taking him into custody after a brief struggle. Tyler's fellow officers immediately began life-saving measures until Phoenix Fire transported him to the hospital in extremely critical condition. Tyler's outlook was grim as he was placed on life support while staff worked tirelessly to save him. Tyler fought through recovery and was released from the ICU to begin extensive, painstaking physical rehabilitation. Tyler's story is as inspirational as any we've heard tonight. Recently, he surprised his family and loved ones by standing up to throw the ceremonial first pitch at an Arizona Diamondbacks baseball game. For significant injuries sustained in the course of duty, Officer Tyler Maldivon is hereby awarded the Police Shield. And for courageous actions taken to arrest the suspects despite knowing the extreme risk involved, Officer Zachary Johnson is hereby awarded the Medal of Valor. And for the life-saving measures taken to preserve Tyler's life, the following officers are hereby awarded the Medal of Life-Saving: Cameron Grafton, Colton Dillabo, Jordan Shaba, Marcus Fisher, Thomas Gallagher, Taylor Locke, and Tyler Geyer.
And now please welcome our next group of honorees. On April 14, 2022, Officer Denise Bruce Jones was shot while on duty in the area of Cave Creek and Beardsley Roads. She and Officer Mazen Toma responded to a gas station at that intersection after a 911 caller told police her boyfriend was erratic, suicidal, and driving around in that area. While Brandy and Mazen were speaking to the victim, the suspect arrived at the gas station pretty close to the officers, but before they could make contact, the suspect pulled a gun and fired shots at the officers. Denise was struck and went to the ground. Mazen quickly drew his duty gun and returned fire. That suspect then drove off. Mazen rushed to Denise's side to render aid until Phoenix Fire arrived and took her to the hospital for emergency surgery. There was an intensive multi-agency manhunt until that suspect was located hiding in Scottsdale and taken into custody by the Special Assignments Unit. Denise underwent significant and extensive recovery. Her courage and determination is exemplary and commendable. For injuries sustained in the course of duty, Officer Denise Bruce Jones is hereby awarded the Police Shield. For courageous actions, absolutely. And for courageous actions taken to protect his fellow officer's life, knowing the risk involved to his own life, Officer Mason Toma is hereby awarded the Medal of Valor.
Please welcome our next group of honorees. On February 11, 2022, at around 2:10 in the morning, Phoenix police were involved in a critical incident where they showed exemplary courage and valor. Multiple officers displayed commendable bravery despite enduring multiple injuries amid severe risk to life and personal safety. The incident began with the call for service of a victim who was shot during a reported home invasion. Officer Austin Peru's body-worn camera showed his arrival at the door as the suspect called out to him to come his way and that someone needed help. Officer Chris Jones just arrived as the suspect immediately pulled out a gun and opened fire, striking Officer Peru. Officer Jones returned fire, causing the suspect to retreat into the residence. Numerous officers responded from several precincts to assist with containment and contact while the suspect continued to fire weapons out of the home and toward the air unit overhead. Officers Brian Davies and Cabe Smith used a patrol vehicle to extract Officer Peru and get him to safety. At one point, the suspect opened the garage and tried to use a vehicle to ram his way to freedom. Officers planned for that and had already blocked the garage, keeping the suspect contained to the house.
During that incident, police learned there was a baby in that home. Officers negotiated to have the baby placed outside the front door. Officers Tricia Eskridge, John Noe, Juan Salas, Travis Spittler, Autumn Ladines, Aldo Rodriguez Pinon, and Anthony McDaniel made their way toward the front door to rescue the baby. But as that door was pushed open, the suspect opened fire on police. Noe, Spittler, Eskridge, and Rodriguez Pinon were struck by gunfire. Officers Salas, Ladines, Aldo Nunez, and Jesus Armenta were hurt by shrapnel and debris. Nunez and Armenta worked to pull Spittler to safety, who had been hit by shrapnel. Officer Scott Fay applied a tourniquet to Tricia Eskridge's arm to stop the bleeding after she was struck multiple times. The Special Assignments Unit arrived and worked to rescue the baby. While their armored vehicle took fire, they eventually went into the home to find the suspect deceased. He had told family he was determined not to go to prison. For significant injuries sustained in the course of duty and courageous actions performed to preserve life, knowing the risk to their own lives, Officers Tricia Eskridge, John Noe, Travis Spittler, and Austin Peru are hereby awarded both the Police Shield and the Medal of Valor. For courageous actions and measures taken to preserve a fellow officer's life, Officer Scott Fay is hereby awarded the Medals of Valor and Life Saving. And for courageous actions performed while knowing the risks involved, the following officers are hereby awarded the Medal of Valor: Chris Jones, Aldo Rodriguez Pinon, Cabe Smith, Brian Davies, Juan Salas, Autumn Ladines, Aldo Nunez, Anthony McDaniel, and Jesus Armenta.
Here to present our next award category, the Police Chiefs Unit Award, please welcome Chief of Staff Jody Wolf.
Thank you. The Police Chiefs Unit Award is presented for the successful completion of a predetermined police-related on-duty act. or acts or continuing effort or efforts by a group of employees working for a common objective. Many exceptional units were nominated for their outstanding accomplishments. However, this year we are recognizing the Vehicular Crimes Unit. Please welcome to the stage this year's honorees receiving the Police Chief's Unit of the Year Award.
Commander Leif Myers, Lieutenant Eric Zoth, Sergeant Jeff Shue, Sergeant Robert Pitts, Sergeant Paul Weishar, Detective Chris Leffler, Detective Glenn Orsted, Detective Michael Yoho, Detective Wes Starr, Detective Scott Campbell, Detective Raymond Reed, Detective Andrew Williams, Detective Jason Altman, Detective Brian Walker, Detective C.C. Smith, Detective Glenn Branham, Detective Henry Trevino Miramontes, Detective Brian Phillips, Detective Michael Davidson, Detective Christy Toe, Detective Jared Johnson, Detective Martin Rincon, Detective Mark Legier, Detective Oscar Guerrero, Detective Thane Infanger, Detective Joseph Mayfield, Detective Scott Fander, Detective Andrew Crotty, Detective Jennifer Malone, Detective Taryn Campbell, Detective Harold Wern, Detective Amy Josie, Detective Gabriel Marquez, Ms. Erica Sierra, Ms. Julie Wimmer.
In the spring of 2019, then Lieutenant Leif Myers was assigned to what was referred to as the Vehicular Homicide Unit. What followed in the next 3 years to include a unit name change was nothing short of remarkable. On average, the Vehicular Crimes Unit, also known as VCU, responded to an average range of 240 to 270 serious and fatal injury collisions a year. These investigations are extremely complex and require a specific skill set in order to accurately reconstruct and determine the vehicle dynamics of a collision. We're talking math and physics, science, technical experience. They're all at play here when reconstructing catastrophic vehicle collisions, which often resulted in the loss of precious lives. VCU maintains a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week standby and call-out availability. This includes weekends, nights, holidays. These detectives miss birthdays, celebrations, and precious time with their families to respond, investigate, and bring justice and closure to the victims of catastrophic incidents that forever changed lives. In addition to serious collisions among daily commuters, VCU responded to fatal and significant injury collisions involving their own officers. In 1 week's time, they responded to more than 16 serious injury collisions, fatal collisions, and vehicular homicide scenes, many of them happening within just 24 hours of each other. Multiple fatal collisions occurred where parents, children, and others lost their lives. And these investigators bear the weight of those stories, and yet they return every shift to carry out their duties. For their continued outstanding effort as a unit to achieve a common objective, the detectives, civilians, and supervisors of the Vehicular Crimes Unit are hereby awarded the Police Chief's Unit Award.
Hey, it's Mike Broomhead from KTAR. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody there at Phoenix PD for not only what you do, but the way you do it. You do it the best possible ways. You're very professional, you're courteous, you represent the city well, you're doing a dangerous job, and I know you're not thanked often enough. So I hope each one of you know that the community at large serves you, and we love to be a voice for the great things that you do there at Phoenix PD. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Phoenix Police Heroes.
The highest recognition given to any Phoenix police officer is the Medal of Honor. This honor is reserved for officers who have lost their lives in the official line of duty. This medal is traditionally awarded to the employee's surviving family. This year, we wish to honor those gone before us with a video tribute. Beautiful. We owe them everything, and hearing the bagpipes just now, it reminds me of my heritage, one of the oldest traditions from Ireland to come over. And when people came over and they couldn't find work, the only jobs available oftentimes were the most dangerous. And those were the police and the fire jobs. And the Irish took those jobs, a lot of those big departments back east, they were built on them and that tradition. And my grandfather was one of them, or great-grandfather rather. And to this day, it is still one of the most dangerous jobs out there. And that is why we are here tonight, to recognize these men and women, to lift them up. We are in awe, and you have our gratitude. Huge thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes tonight's ceremony. We would like to thank the Phoenix Police Foundation for helping to make this night possible. Thank you so much. Thank you to our city leaders and speakers, to the Public Affairs Bureau, Office of Administration, and all police employees who worked diligently to put this ceremony together. But last and certainly not least, thank you, Heather.
And I've enjoyed working with you. Thank you so much, Chief Vasquez. It's been my pleasure again. And a special thank you to tonight's heroes, truly. We are proud of who you are, and never forget, we are proud, this community is proud of what you do. Everyone, please stay safe and good night.